So, welcome guys to another Scrappin' Irish Live on this Sunday night, and thank you for all being in as usual. Most people great, and don't forget to hit the like as you come in the door. So the first person that was in tonight was the Patriotic One, followed by HH Recycling, who said he'll be tuned in, he hopes, but in case he doesn't, here's his comment. And I just asked him to make sure he hit the like. Hopefully he did. Then Paul Frost has come in since then, and Daniel Houston has come in. So welcome in. Good to see you, sir. So what has everyone been working on? If you see my last video, you will see where let me open this. Got some of these lovely gold bond wires. So sorry about the green screen effect on the gold, because there's still some bits and pieces of material in there that aren't gold, but there's our gold bond wires. So welcome in, Buscoffin. Thank you for coming in. Good to see you. Andy, welcome in. So that's what I've been working on. The video came out this week on the channel, so you can go and check that out. Patrick Williams, welcome in. 6th Street Garage, welcome in. Good to see all you guys. I think I put the link for the to come up if anyone wants to come up and talk. We might have some person up later who hasn't been up here before. They asked would it be okay if they could come up, and I said yeah. So we'll see will it happen or won't. And Liverpool have won the league as well, so it's a good day so far. If I could win the lotto, it'd be even better. But to get to spend time with G makes it a good day. Come on, thanks for hitting the like. HS Recycling, hey Irish and all. Sandy the Sharky, I've got you on the big screen on scrapping hard drive, so won't won't type as much. Yeah, that's no problem at all. So she's saying a blanket hello to everyone. Sammy, welcome in. And hey, welcome. Where's Mike?
Why are you telling people I'm asking permission now?
You haven't been shut down yet, Mike.
Pretty
much. You're still working away there, so
it's the weekend. I won't get caught.
Oh, okay. In case anyone doesn't know, go check out US Mike's video, and you'll see he has a little issue at the moment. So, which is not a little issue; it's a big issue.
The big issue.
The big issue at the moment. Electronic Scrapper, welcome in. Good to see you. Yeah. So. Check out his video, guys. He may no longer be a scrapper.
Find out tomorrow.
Mike's Meltdown, welcome in.
Howdy, howdy.
Good to see you. See you scrapping. Welcome in. Good to see you too. Thanks for popping in. William, welcome in. William was on about, I seen in one of the comments he left on Sharks Live about he piles up some certain type of scrap. And then when he's got enough of it there to pay for a machine, he'll buy a machine to scrap it out then. So it pays for itself. And then he has a machine. Matthew, welcome in. Good to see you. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, guys, as you come in. Here we have Shark Scrapper. Welcome in.
Hello, everybody.
Good to see you too. So, have you changed the lighting? You see, it seems brighter in your room now.
Yeah. So we had a major malfunction here as I was setting up the studio today. So I've got different lights. I've got different camera. I mean, everything is different. I'm surprised that it even worked.
Okay. I say it looks brighter. Mr. G, which is PC Scrapper, here as well. So welcome in. Andy, welcome in. I said Ed, welcome in. I've just got going to the lake, but we'll listen in until I lose signal. Oh, Andy's saying hello, Mike 2. So Mike's 2. The 2 mics, I think he's trying to say hello to. William is saying, or not William, Daniel, well, they are, I'll just say that they're hobby scrapper as long as you pay the tax. Yeah, Daniel reckons, just tell him you're a hobby scrapper, Mike.
I don't want to talk about it.
Mike is not talking about it. We'll have to wait for his video tomorrow for him to talk about it.
No video.
There will be a video.
No.
You have to let us know what's happening.
I'm gonna have to tell you people nothing. I'll call you later tomorrow, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, that's double negative, which means that you have to tell us something.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't like anybody here, so I don't mean why are you so worried about it.
Okay, Mike.
That's all right, Mike. The
We
feeling's
don't like
mutual.
Shark, did you get any chocolates or anything in the post?
Oh, did we ever? Oh man, we are in Cadbury hog heaven.
Hog heaven. Hog heaven.
And relish,
that material.
relish is so my wife, my niece's boyfriend, they all got into the Cadbury, but I told them, you touch the relish and you die.
I'll make a trip over there and kill them for you. I have a lot of free time on my hands, so I got to do something with it.
Yeah, he's going to have a lot of free time on his hands. Well, you may not. It may all work out for all right in the end. Hopefully.
I got a meeting tomorrow morning, so we'll see.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Good luck with that, Mike. I hope that works out for you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I mean, even though I don't like you, but I like the city even less.
Yeah, it's like, which would I prefer to win this battle?
Can't fight City Hall, that's for sure.
You can. You'll lose, but you can fight them.
Yeah, you can fight them, but you're going to lose every time.
Yeah. It's like the casino never loses. The city never loses. They'll have their pound of flesh. But if you can still continue, then
you're almost afraid sometimes to even ask the question ahead of time, because if it's like sometimes it's better to just ask for forgiveness than it is permission, because you don't want to draw attention to yourself. But yet then when you do that, you risk when they do catch up with you, having it be even worse. So yeah, I don't know where to go on that sometimes.
I mean, that's the situation he's in. Is he's on their radar now, so he's got to deal with it one way or the other.
I've been on their radar for years. For years. Before I even moved here, I was on the radar all the time.
Yeah, so we'd say the last time when you lived in the old place, you used to do the same thing you were doing now. So what's the difference? What's the issue now?
Bitches, because I got a bitch for a neighbor. That's the difference. She ain't gonna be here long. That's the difference.
Okay. So someone lodged a complaint, is what you're saying.
Yeah, because we asked them to have her daughter turn her car radio down because it was 11 o'clock at night, and that started it also. But I believe in karma. And the same day, as soon as the inspector was here, about an hour and a half later, their dog jumped the fence. So I called animal control.
I seen that in the video.
Yeah, I had to talk to the animal control here. Yeah. You can play this game.
I feel bad for the dog. It's not the dog's fault that their owners are dickheads.
Oh, you're talking about the real dog. I thought you were talking about the lady living next.
All right, let's not make anyone liable here. Don't forget this is live and it can be seen by everyone. So let's not make yourself liable for anything.
I don't care.
Yeah, well, yeah, you should.
But I don't.
He's rooting for the dog.
Just like my safety tennis shoes. I don't care.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't care.
That and your safety squints.
And I got my squints. I always got my squints.
And I'm sure his grinder has a guard on it.
Absolutely. All three of them. I don't know where the guards are. Look at this one. This one here I should probably just throw away, but I think it still has a little bit of life in it yet. I think I can get a few more out of it.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Mike, while you're at it, you might as well just rub off some of the insulation on your electrical cord for that one, so that you can add, the shock value into your safety criteria.
I'm on it.
Safety beard. Safety beard. Yeah. So
No, I really do. All seriousness, though, I really do feel bad for dogs that are owned by idiots, because a dog just does what dogs do, right? And if they're owned by idiots, usually the dog is the first thing that's going to pay the price. When they get caught by animal control, they get put down because they bit somebody, or those kind of things. And it's such a shame, because dogs are just dogs. It's humans that tend to cause dogs to do bad things.
yeah, it's always the owner's fault.
Mistakes can happen, though. I mean, I've had a dog that she would clear an 8-foot fence. So, we had to make adjustments to the fence to prevent her from getting out. But, it's not necessarily the person's fault that the dog gets in trouble. It's that the person hasn't had the opportunity to make the adjustments for that particular dog.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There are definitely cases where, the human isn't necessarily purposely trying to do anything wrong. They just haven't caught up with the demands of that particular dog that they have. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, back to scrapping, because this is not a pet channel, unfortunately. So I'll answer some stuff that people said in there about scrap. Watchgod said, Daniel said, I would have to say, as a lifetime scrapper, it's an addiction. I'll never be able to quit scrapping. Yeah, I don't think once you start scrapping, you can never quit it. It's always going to be there. It's never. You'll always be a scrapper. I think, even if it's just a hobbyist scrapper in the end, if you're not just doing it as a full-time job, I think you'll always be just a hobbyist scrapper in the end if you can't do it as a full-time job. By the way, welcome in Ron and welcome in Jan. Thank you for coming in. Hope you've hit the likes. Yeah, so I'm getting my nice my gold bond wires are getting bigger. The pile of them are getting bigger piles of gold bond wires.
Oh, you tease. You're a gold tease.
Yeah. So, and I have another present coming from Vivor that I have to test out on the channel, and it's coming at the perfect time for these. When that arrives, we'll be putting them to use in testing out the device that's coming. So that's good. What has everyone in the chat been working on this week? Richard said he was working. I see he was saying in your live one of the comments he put in that he was working on crystal oscillators, but he didn't want to use a lot of nitric acid to get the silver out of it. So I don't know, has anyone a suggestion for Richard what to do? I know was it William or someone said that they watched a video where someone just still put them into the nitric acid, but didn't leave them in for as long, so it didn't use up as much nitric on the outside of the case, but it was still strong enough to eat the silver away on the inside.
That was me. I think it was Owltech that did the video. It was one of those guys that's in one of the questionable areas of the world where they don't take a lot of safety precautions. But
what? So you mean it was in US Mike's shed, yeah?
Warren, Michigan. Warren, Michigan.
Yeah.
So he was doing the nitric out in his backyard, basically. But he was doing it without removing the crystals from the cans. He was just nitric over everything, let it sit for a while, pour the nitric off, and then add some chloride to get the silver out.
Okay. And it worked for him, did it?
It did work. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how efficient it was. I don't know how, if there was any material left in the cans afterwards. I know it's just a plating on the crystal itself, but I don't know if there was any. I know that it's a plating on the surface of the crystal. I don't know if there's anything else in there that the nitric was not able to access.
Okay. Someone said something there. Ron is working on power sockets and wire. HHS Recycling just picked up a truckload of scrap from a building teardown. Jeanette Pickering, welcome in. Good to see you. Richard says he used Vivor fans in his hood. They last longer than the ones I used before. I think I got mercury in mine and some asphalt and a little arsenic. Okay, Daniel, you've got a nice combination of chemicals there that can kill. Any one of them could kill you. Never mind all three together.
Daniel's now my hero.
How do you determine the purity of gold you recover? You just buy a jeweler's test kit online, and you can use that to test the purity of your gold. So once you melt your gold into a nugget, you get a little stone that comes in the set. You rub the gold on the stone, and then you use your different grades of the assets to see which one will dissolve it, and that will give you your purity of your gold. Anything else there? Red light, welcome in. Good to see you. I got power sockets and wire from an electrician friend of yours. Cool. I picked up, well, electrician friend of mine give me a rake of trip switches, or breakers as they're known as well, which will have silver in them, so I have to get working on them as well. There's a lot of silver I need to start doing. I've let the silver side of things build up, so I'm going to have to do a lot of silver recovery. So that means nitric acid work.
I actually had one of our viewers, I'm not going to say their name because I don't know if they want me to, but they had a stash of silver Mylars that they were not sure what they wanted to get rid of them, but they didn't want to just throw them away. So I paid for the shipping and they sent them to me. So I'm going to add those to the Mylars that I have. And when I get set up with the precious metal recovery and refining, that could be fun to play with. Yeah,
it's something to work with. Now, you know yourself, the Mylars are not going to have a huge amount on them, but it's something to be. It's the fun of doing it. So it is. It's the fun of doing it. You know, I always put the nitric back in the bottle. Okay. So, Richard, explain a bit more about that nitric boil test that you use for checking your purity. Because I've never come across that or used it. So that would be nice to see what that involves. Philip, welcome in. Good to see you, Philip. Great to have you in. Thanks for popping in.
And I will say the person sending me the Mylars is not Mike. Mike promised to send me a bunch of Mylars and he never got around to it. So,
but then I asked Shark, do you still want these? No.
What'd you ever do with those?
They're in a box back there.
I've
got to give him the electronic scrapper when he comes.
Ed has 5 pounds of RAM ready to go to Chris in board sort, so that's nice. What are the prices like at the moment in board sort for RAM? What's Oh, nice.
Yeah, I sold like 6 pounds the other day and got $31.75.
So Richard is saying Mylars have about 1 milligram of silver per kilogram of Mylar. So
milligram.
Yeah, you're going to need a lot of stuff. That's the video, is it, Mike? Trinity Gold to silver from crystals. Okay, I'll have to check that one out myself as well.
How many milligrams are in a gram?
He did 1 kilogram of crystals, and let's see towards the end of the video here.
Not like somebody's house.
A little over 8 grams.
HH Recycling. Any bloopers or returnables since Truck Fan isn't here, someone has to ask the question.
I think Mike qualified for the ultimate blooper this week with the city.
Getting in trouble with the city. I have been doing stuff for friends. I have about 4 pounds of IC chips waiting for me. Okay, and you're going to incinerate them IC chips, Richard? Is that the plan? Incinerating them? I presume it is that you're planning on doing that.
Yep, I just soaked a bunch of IC chips in hydrochloric acid to remove all the tin and lead solder from the back of them, so that I can get them ready to incinerate.
So why did you remove the solder? Because I suppose, yeah, when you incinerate it, usually if you incinerate it good enough, the way I do it, the tin solder ends up in a blob in the middle of my incineration. So I just figured
it'd be easier to chemically remove it prior to doing it than.
Yeah, no, everyone has different ways. As I say, I like to know when people do something differently what their reasoning is. It's not that I'm saying it's wrong or anything like that. I just like to know what it is. I've seen started to centerboard sword with about 50 pounds of RAM and 30 pounds of IC chip, IC and bunch of telecom. That's a nice load going to Chris. So there's 50 pounds of RAM, guys.
Nice.
I know.
But I do recover the tin from the chemicals before I dispose of anything. So. Okay.
That's something I always said I wanted to get was one of them blue bowls, but the cost of getting it here in Ireland is crazy, like €400 or €500 they want to have it shipped here to Ireland. So I haven't invested in that yet. I was thinking about making my own or doing something different, but we'll see. Hey, welcome back in, the Patriotic One. Thank you for coming in. You were the first person in tonight, so welcome back.
You'd be able to 3D print one.
I'm not saving it anymore. Okay. RAM is 32 a pound of board sort. So he had what had he got? Did we say 50 pounds of RAM? So that's over $1,500 of RAM for board sort that other guy had. So that's a nice payday coming. I have a tumbler that Harbour Freight. I put ball bearings in and turns them into powder. Yeah. I just use a grinder that grinds it down to powder, so it works for me.
Hey, Irish.
Yeah.
Do you have a 3D printer by any chance?
I don't.
Do you know anybody who does?
Rat Morrick.
The reason I ask is there's at least half a dozen blue bowl variants on Thingiverse, so you can print one.
Okay. So that could be an option. Print your own 3D bowl or blue bowl from 3D. Yes, that could be an option.
Looks like Ralph has some work coming.
Yeah, Ralph, for one of your videos, could you do a blue bowl? Just print a blue bowl.
And
there he is. Just when we talk about Ralph, he just comes in.
And if you're near one of the major cities, I bet you can find a place that will allow you to print them for you.
Here in Ireland, we don't really have any of them places where you just go in and get stuff 3D printed. They don't really. That's something that most people just have their own little 3D printer for messing about on, and that's it if they're going to do anything. Okay, so I got my first batch of copper chloride going on some TV boards. The foils sure do look pretty okay. That's cool. Once you see the foils coming off, if it's your first time doing it, it's class when you get to see the gold foils coming off your stuff. Now, as I say, you'll always think it's going to be a great amount of gold, but when you fine it down, you'll only have a bit of a gram. So, but it all counts. Board sort is great. I can't precise all the e-waste, but they need to make a profit. Just saying, I am happy to get my own gold. Yeah. Look at if 50 pounds of RAM, if you were able to process 50 pounds of RAM yourself and recover the gold from it, you could get anywhere between 50 grams and 150 grams, depending on the age of the RAM and the He's got a star bar. The age of the RAM and the whether it's what size chips are on it and stuff like that. So that means you could make anywhere from $3 grand up to 15 grand from that 50 pounds of RAM. If you can do it properly and you're good enough at doing it. That's not taking into account the amount of acid you're going to have to use and your time and stuff like that. That's just saying what gold could be in there. Yeah,
I look at it as if they're willing to pay me X amount, they're probably making 2X.
Yeah, well, it's again like I go my maths is it can be anywhere from 1 gram to 3 grams of gold in a pound of RAM. So that's why, as what Scott said there, Richard, usually it's a 2 gram yield. That's why I said you should have anywhere from 50 grams to 150 grams of gold from that RAM. So so that's kind of usually what the yield is from the RAM. So some will be better than others. Sometimes it's you might only get a gram. Sometimes you get 2.5 grams per pound. It all depends on the age of the RAM and stuff like that. So as Richard said, it averages out around 2 grams a pound. So if you're getting 100 grams, that's about 3 ounces. So 3 ounces is about $9,000 roughly. Well, it's over $9,000, but we'd say 9,000. So that means if you can recover that gold from that 50, you'd have $9,000. Then take into account how much acid you're going to need to use and your time. So it all depends on what you want to do. If you give it to board sort, you get your money into your bank account fairly quick, and you're no acid needed and no more time needed doing it. Yeah, closer to 10 grand.
I was looking to see what the mass was on this candy bar, because this is definitely grams of gold here.
See what it's like to eat real chocolate instead of that old fake Hershey stuff you have over there. They didn't ask you to pay any import on it or anything, was there, Shark? No, that's okay. That's okay. I told them to, when it goes to e-waste, Mike, to make sure that he has to pay at least $100 import on it. At least, I said.
Oh, you could have went a little higher. I don't care.
I'm waiting. I have about 30 pounds of fingers saved up. That's cool. When you say fingers, is that just trimmed fingers you've saved up, Richard, or is that actually 30 pounds of RAM sticks you've saved up? In 20 years, you won't need acid. No, in 20 years' time, gold recovery will be done totally different. They're working on ways of doing it using milk. They're working on ways of doing it using bacteria. They're working on ways of doing it using different methods for recovering gold from e-waste. And in 20 years' time, guys, we probably won't be allowed to do e-waste recovery anyhow. You know?
20 years' time, all 4 of us will be dead, so it don't matter.
Yeah, so it don't matter.
Speak for yourself.
Going down with the ship too, buddy.
Trimmed. Oh, that's nice. 30 pounds of trimmed RAM. That's nice.
I figure I got 5 years left.
Yeah, and so you're gonna be gone in 20 years. I wonder who would be the people on YouTube talking about e-waste and stuff in 20 years' time when we're all decrepit and dead.
Truck fan.
I reckon Ian Matthews will still be on the go.
Yeah, he ain't never gonna die.
No, Ralph Morrick, he's immortal, we know.
Yep,
so he'll be doing it. Yeah, you can always make your own assets, correct? You can always make your own assets. But what price is Bear Bright per kilo? Anyone know that? Well, I know that Patrick Williams will have a price for Bear Bright copper here in Ireland. So, Patrick, what is the price of Bear Bright copper here in Ireland at the moment? If you can get the price there, Ron is wondering, so then he can kind of see what his prices are like in the UK. If anyone in the UK has gone to the scrapyard this week and cashed in copper, what was the prices like? I'll only be 59 in 20 years' time.
I think Patrick Williams, let me just start charging you for this.
There'll be mining land. We were on about that last week, actually, on about the mining of the landfill sites. And at the moment, it's something that's probably because of not just because of the cost of doing it, it's because of the environmental damage it will do. That's one of the reasons they probably haven't even considered doing it yet, is because we know the amount of carbon that's going to be and gases and stuff like that that's in the landfill. And as soon as you open them up, you're releasing all that into the atmosphere. $1.10 a kilo. Oh, okay, so prices are pretty poor at the moment. I've seen on a lot of people giving out about the price of shred at the moment, saying the prices have gone down so far and all this. Whoa, there's a nice pile of Mylars, 50 pounds of silver Mylars from Keyboards. Who refines silver Mylars? Who does it for other people, do you mean? I don't know. I do it for myself, and that's it. I don't do it for anyone else. It's not something I want to get involved in, doing gold recovery for anyone else. It's just because if anything goes wrong, they'll just be complaining online about you and everything else and saying you cheated them out of money and all that. So just don't get involved in it. That way you can't be ever accused of doing anything. We can't mind those.
Trust me, things do go wrong. I've got gold sitting in a solution right now. I can't get the gold out.
Why can't you get the gold out?
I've got it in a aqua regia solution and I can't get it out.
Okay, well all you have to do is put in a small bit of aluminium, drop it all completely out, and start all over.
From what I'm reading, it won't. One metal won't displace the other. It just absorbs into the acid.
No, aluminium will drop everything out of it. I've done it loads of times. So be careful doing that. Be careful doing aluminium, because aluminium is very
reactive.
Yeah, very reactive. So what I usually do is I get aluminium shavings, if you can, and just a little sprinkle of aluminium shavings at a time, and let it, and everything, it'll drop everything out now. It'll drop any copper out, it'll drop any silver, it'll drop any iron out, it'll drop everything out, and you just have to wash it with distilled water usually. Wash it in, if you want, you can wash it in, boil it in hydrochloric acid to try and absorb any more of the base metals that came out with it. And then wash it if you want in nitric acid, and then eventually just do put it back into the aqua regia if you want.
Yeah. I've got heat sinks and I've got a file, so I can make shavings.
Yeah. It's usually I usually break off the tops of the heat sinks. You know, the little the pointy bits. I usually break them off and I use them to do it. They're and just
come on, just put it in a small container, put a camera on it, drop the whole freaking heat sink on there, and let us watch it.
So you'll want a blooper, huh?
Well, before I can say anything, I have done that. Before I realized that aluminium was so reactive in it, I was trying like that. I couldn't get gold to drop out. It kept going back in. It kept going wrong. So I've done a bit of research, and next day I was looking on some of the forum sites, and I seen, you can do it with aluminium. I just got a bunch of heat sinks, threw them in, next thing, whoosh, up she went.
I think we all made that. I think we all made that mistake once.
Yeah, let's just say I didn't get my gold from that solution. And that's the reason I don't do gold recovery for anyone else, because stuff can go wrong. Got a load of scrap and copper wire coming tomorrow. That's cool, Ron. So it is. If I drop the copper out of copper chloride with aluminium, can I reuse the hydrochloric dissolved? No, you can't, because what you've done then is the aluminium has taken the place of whatever metal you've dropped out. So the hydrochloric acid is still used up because the hydrochloric acid will be used up dissolving the aluminium back into solution. So no, it can't be reused. But you wouldn't need aluminium to drop the copper out. You can use iron to drop your copper out. You don't have to use aluminium, because if you use aluminium, you'll be dropping out iron or anything else in there. So just use, if you're just trying to get your copper back, just use some iron to drop out your copper out of copper chloride if you want to get the copper back.
But once you drop it with the iron, you've now got ferric chloride, which again cannot be used to dissolve copper.
No.
You've gone down that or up that reaction pole. Anything above it will be more reactive, and anything below it is less reactive. So once you go to a step, the only thing that you can do is recover the item that's currently in solution with a more reactive metal.
Metal above it, yes. And I say, because all you're doing is transferring the ions. So when you put the aluminium in or put the iron in, the iron is transferred, the ions are transferred, and the copper ions drop out. And then if you put aluminium in, you drop out the iron, and you have aluminium in there, and you keep going up as he was saying there, and you'll never be able to reuse your hydrochloric acid to drop a metal to redissolve a metal you've already dropped out below already. You know.
You got all that, Shark?
Yeah, I was taking notes.
Look like you're ready to fall asleep.
Fortunately, hydrochloric acid is relatively cheap.
Yeah, hydrochloric is relatively cheap. Guys, the recovery process isn't hard. You dissolve everything that isn't gold, then you purify the gold. Yeah, but it's done in a certain process, Richard. It's not hard for you because you've learned your process. For anyone that's starting off, it can be difficult, and by us helping them out and telling them now, it might help them not making a mistake that we may have made back when we started. I'm sure, Richard, you've made mistakes. I've made mistakes in gold recovery. I've seen Sweet Chiefs make mistakes in gold recovery. Like, everyone doesn't know everything about gold recovery, and anyone that wants to ask any questions, if we can answer them, we will try that. And if we don't have the answer, we will tell you as well.
I mean, for example, the mistake I think I made is I was trying to rush the process, and I think I put too much nitric in it.
Yeah. Well, again, that's if you get what were you trying to use to neutralize your nitric?
I don't know that I did. So that
okay. Well, then it definitely would not let you drop the gold out. If you haven't neutralized your nitric, then it definitely won't. So if you want, before you drop everything out, you could just try neutralizing your solution. So just get some sulfamic acid, not sulfuric, sulfamic acid, and use sulfamic acid to neutralize your solution, and that might help you.
So I guess I shouldn't try any of this, right?
No, I think you should stay well away from it, Mike. You've only got one lung, and you don't want to be filling it up with any sort of fumes.
I don't care.
And if you think the city's after you right now,
I used to do it. I quit doing it.
Yeah, Mike used to. If I remember, goes back from Mike's original videos, he used to have the jars with the copper chloride going in them, and he'd have all the flakes floating around in them. Now he leaves it all to electronic scrapper to do for him. Yeah.
I'm gonna have one big hell of a load of shred after tomorrow. Just throwing it all in the shred pile.
Actually, see there the chart is on about Moose Scrapper. Moose Scrapper came into one of my TikTok lives. Actually, I was talking to him over there. So he's got, I think he's a TikTok channel as well at the moment. So he was actually he popped into one of the lives I was doing over on TikTok, and he came in there because I said that to him. I said I haven't seen you on YouTube for a while, and he said that he'd kind of done everything on YouTube video-wise. There was nothing new he could do video-wise. That was why he doesn't do YouTube much anymore. But people, he said, what was I going to do? Break down another server? And I already have 10 videos where I broke down servers already. So he's saying people can watch them videos if they want to watch me breaking down a server. He said, you know, so that was his reason, and he was saying, I think, for not doing much on YouTube anymore, that he had done kind of everything. If anyone wants to find anything that Moose has done, the video is already there, so he's not new to do. That was his theory on it. Now, my theory is, it doesn't matter if you've done it before, because new subscribers coming onto your channel don't actually go way back in your catalog to find something, and they just watch from where you are. And that was my point, Jump, that people coming in find a Moose scrapper will not go in and look for Moose breaking down a server from 5 years ago. So he's better carrying on doing it again. It doesn't matter how many times you do something, there's always going to be someone who hasn't seen it. That's my theory.
Yeah, there's millions of new people coming onto YouTube every freaking day. And you are right. Most people don't go back and look at your old videos to see if you got something there. So it's always good to do the new ones.
Yeah, it's always good to just because you broke down a computer a year ago or 2 years ago, there's going to be a new subscriber is going to find you breaking down that computer again. I still watch Moose videos. So do I. I still come across it appears up every so often. I watch it.
You had a question about taking the bracket off of the heatsink. You know, it's hard to answer that question because it depends on how they're attached. So some are screwed on, some are shrink fitted, some, you know, without seeing the heatsink, I don't know how to answer the question. Hello, Ian.
Good evening, gents.
Hey.
What have you done? What setting have you put on your flipping stream? 20 minutes it took me to get on here.
What are you on about?
I don't know. You normally just click StreamYard,
Yeah.
you know, that link, and it comes up, and it's like, no, who are you? What's your password? You know, what's your you know, inside leg measurement? And it just goes on and on. And it takes me 20 minutes, and I give up, and I come on my phone, and then it's.
Were you trying to do it on your computer? Was it?
No, up Firepad. Little baby.
Throw away the iPad.
See, look, sign in, and every time I put my password in, it says, computer says nah. Anyway.
That's to do on your side of things, not my side of things.
All right, okay. Hello, gents.
Welcome in, Ian Matthews.
Oh, come on, Irish. That was the special Ian filter you applied. Be honest.
Well, I was going to say to Ian, why is he not in his shed getting rid of some of the green screen?
Because I've been laminate flooring all weekend, and I'm buggered. And my knees are knackered, and I'm ready for bed.
So how have you been keeping anyhow, Ian? Have you got all the flooring done, is the question?
No.
Yes, I'm all the. Listen, I'll ask you a question. Now, this might now sound a bit technical. You know me in math. Okay.
Sister G said, hello, crappers.
So,
I think that's what Ian Matthews. He craps his nappy every night.
All right, so I've got a room. It's 4 walls.
Right.
Yeah? And it takes 2 lengths of beading per wall.
Okay.
So how many beadings do you think I need to go and buy?
Well, if there's 4 walls and it takes 2 for each wall, I'd say 8.
Right. Now, what's 4 and 2?
6.
Well, that's why I went and bought 6. and
So,
then,
Ian, when I do that kind of math, I always multiply it by 2 because I know I'm doing at least half of it before I figure out how to do it right.
yeah, but I spent then 15 minutes looking for the missing 2 lengths that I knew was in the house. And,
Were they in the house or in the shed?
No, in the house. You have to lay them flat, don't you? And then I realised I only bought 6 because 4 and 2, 6. And it's
but you're meant to multiply it, not add them.
I know, so I had to go back to the shop and get another 2.
I did see your mats before. We've seen your mats loads of times on your videos when you've been working out mats, and we do know it's a bit of a struggle.
Oh, I do apply it to real life, real life struggles.
Hey, Park Nest, welcome in. Sister G, by the way, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you coming in. You're not wrong about calling us crappers. We are crappers.
Crappers. Well, I've not been doing it.
Oh, look, he's having a whisper bar.
Mike.
Real chocolate.
That reminds me. I think I'll get an Easter egg.
Oh, look at this. An Easter egg. Mr. G is trying to get his camera working.
Don't make me get a Hershey bar out, damn it.
Oh, Hershey bars. Look at the little Easter eggs.
Look at that, eh? Whoa.
Ian, have you set an official date for your retirement yet? No?
Yeah, well, if you don't mind, I'll tell you about that if you're interested.
Yes.
So, last weekend, you know the guy I follow, don't you? Cliff's shed.
Yes.
His shed burnt down, and then he spent 18 months getting it all back together again.
Yeah.
And he finished his last wall, painted his last wall, I would say, about 8 weeks ago. And then he put a video up last weekend saying he's now got stage 4 lung cancer.
Oh.
And I was gutted. It was like a punch to the stomach.
Oh, that's terrible news.
And I thought, what is the point of me putting off work, carrying on with work? But the things I want to do in life. So I went work on Tuesday because it was a bank holiday, and I told my boss, told him about a friend called Cliff who'd got this lung cancer, and I said, I'll be putting my notice in at the end of next week, which is the end of this week. And I said, I've just got things to do in my life, and you can't get time back.
Yeah, well, Ian said to him, he said, I've been told by the missus, if I don't get my shed cleared out, she's going to kill me, so I have to do it before I die.
She actually said, if I die before the shed if I die before my shed is not cleared, she'll dig me up and kill me again.
Well,
and you deserve it.
We got a bet, who's going to die in 20 years.
Yeah, well, I was just saying there, we were already just saying there on the, you were probably watching at the start, I was saying, like, in 20 years' time, more than likely, there was 4 of us there. More than likely, I said 4 of us probably won't be here in 20 years' time, But I said one person that will be still here in 20 years' time is Ian Matthews, because he's immortal. Ian Matthews will outlive us all.
The great simple man is in the chat.
Yeah, hello, everybody. I can't see chat.
Hey,
hello, everyone. Anyway, so I did that, and then the boss said, well, instead of finishing full-time, what about just going down to 2 days a week? And I went, I could do that.
Yeah, what 2 days, though?
Oh, Tuesday, Wednesday, of course.
I was going to say, definitely not a Monday.
That means I can stay up late every Monday night for the Scrapping Irish show.
Yay! Mr. G is going to try and join us. He said he's got his camera working.
So, Ian, will we see a lot more videos from you then once you retire, or are you giving that up too?
Give it up.
No. Do you ever, the guy, he's on the calendar, Ultimate Recycler. Yes. He did a series, didn't he, where he cleared his shed, about 52 episodes.
Hey.
I'm going to beat that. I'm going to do, I suspect, 204 episodes of Ian clearing his shed.
It still won't be done.
And it still won't be done. You are correct, Mike. And it still won't be done.
You won't even be halfway.
So, hang on.
Yeah, no, nothing worse than hearing that about poor Cliff. To hear that you know, stage 4 lung cancer. That's terrible news.
It's terrible. I mean, all that work, you know, putting his workshop back together again, and then and that comes out. You know, I was gutted. You know, I know it's a YouTube friend we've never met, we're never likely to meet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but there's some people on here you think highly of, and I think highly of him. You know.
And then there's other people we meet on YouTube, and we'd be hoping something had happened to them. Mike puts up his hand, waving.
Yeah, but Mike keeps hoping that Mike's the guy that's there saying, "I hope I don't wake up tomorrow." So I'm just trying to agree with them. I don't agree with them on much, but I should at least agree with that.
I really don't want to wake up tomorrow. I don't want to deal with this shit.
Oh, there's a question there. Mr. G, where do I go to stream with you folks? Well,
There's a link at the very top of the YouTube channel. It should be pinned, and you should just have to hit that link, and it should automatically bring you to the live.
it should, but it doesn't if you've got a crapple, honestly.
It worked for E-Waste Mike, it worked for Mike's Meltdown, it works for Shark Scrapper, and the only one that had an issue is Mr. Technology himself, Ian Matthews.
I can't hear it. You hit that? Goose. Sign in.
And there you go. You're ready to join.
Ready to join you now.
It says copy link.
Why are you copying the link?
What?
Copy the link.
But why are you copying the link?
Because it tells me to copy the link.
You do what you're told all the time?
I'm going to have to
Mike, happy wife, happy life. So yes.
Welcome in. Good to see you, Scrooge McDuck. Right, let me see what it tells me when I go onto it here. YouTube. Let's see what happens when I click on it.
Anybody,
You might have to.
Mr. G says, I don't know what to do to get it to go live. Yeah, me neither. That's too.
Yeah, click the link. It says entering the studio.
Yeah.
And it says entering the studio, Michael Shue, continuous Michael Shue, which is me. I click that. Yeah, it's taking me in. I'm now, let's set you up. Set up your studio. And if I enter the studio, you're going to see me there again in the thing there, Irish. So I'm not going to click that button to enter the studio.
Yeah. It's just T. Matthews. He just doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah. He goofed up something.
The man's a math wizard, but not an internet wizard.
A math wizard. Oh no, William is there. William is in the down there in the basement. So
come on.
William, welcome in.
Hello, William.
What's 4 and 2?
Hey, guys.
Welcome in. I have watch call down there as well, PC Scrapper. So I'll bring PC Scrapper up in a minute because I can't bring him up when I think I'm only allowed 6 people now because I don't pay StreamYards anymore. So I think I'm only allowed. Let me have a look.
I'll step away for a few minutes. Here you go.
Okay. Oh, come on.
Shark stepped away.
Oh,
I want to go.
Okay. So there's PC Scrapper and William. So welcome in, guys. Good to see you guys.
Yeah. Hey, this is great.
So tell us what. Well, I'll start with William. William, what are you working on today?
Wire.
Wire.
Yeah. Running a bad break today.
Okay.
Yeah, naked.
And what machine are you using to run it through?
A copper mine. Regular stripper you get. To the your standard. Well, this machine.
Okay. Oh yes. It's like the strip meister that few people use.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I got on the opposite side all that wire. That wire I'll run through the granulator.
Oh, okay. So you've got a granulator. That's the granulator you have. Yes.
Yeah.
You were talking about this before. This granulator. I think you sent me some videos, didn't you, of it?
Yes, I did.
Working. Okay, that's cool.
You strip the wire before you send it through the granulator?
No. What I wind up doing, because of the price difference between the number 2 wire to the Bear Bright, I just run the Bear Bright by hand. The number 2 wire I run through the granulator. And then what I wind up doing is the copper I have before I send it out, I test it so that way I know the exact copper compound. The last copper that went out was beryllium copper, and they actually pay a better price for that versus number 2. So this is where it becomes knowing your copper and testing it out. When I do sluicing of copper, I usually get C145 copper, which is a little bit less than number 2 copper, but more than number 1 copper, which is the tailings on the granulator, which that usually holds a lot of lead, tin, iron, nickel, and other things that don't pass as copper that get wasted off the back end, but I want full recovery of the material. A lot of times what I wind up doing prior to running it through the granulator, I have over here this black machine. I don't know if you can see it.
Yes, we can see it.
That's a shredder.
Yes, it is. So what I'll do is I'll shred the wire first. From shredding it, then I'll send it through the machine. The reason why I do that is I can get more pounds per hour through the machine versus sending the wire itself, since I got to watch the voltage and amperage on it.
Well, you do it a lot more efficient than myself and Ian Matthews would do our copper wires. Isn't that right, Ian? We just strip it any way we can strip it, and it goes to the scrapyard, and that's it. PC Scrapper, welcome in, by the way. Thanks for coming in. What are you up to today?
Not much, just working, depopulating boards. I've taken a day off on the weekend.
Okay. And what's your channel called? Is it just called PC Scrapper, or do you have a channel?
No, I don't have a channel. I just post videos in like scrapping community, and I've been doing it for over 20 some odd years. I never really got into YouTube that much.
Okay.
So.
I'm just starting to get into YouTube.
Yeah. The only thing about getting into YouTube is it's grand for the likes of me and people who do it who do scrapping as a part-time business, or not business, part-time hobby. YouTube is part of that bit of fun for part. But if you're doing scrapping as a full-time job, YouTube videos take a lot of time out of where you could be doing things from. You know,
too much time.
Too much time, yeah.
Especially if you do the quality, post-production, pre-production, editing, and all the credits and everything, just takes too much time.
I know the amount of production you go into your videos, Ian, where you do kind of put the end of the video in the middle of the video, and put the end of the video at the start of the video, and put the middle of it at the end. That is really good production.
Yeah, like I said, I just try to come up with ideas for people to scrap their computers, transformers. I'm the guy that always sponsored Pepsi when I make my videos. I'm a Pepsi drinker.
Oh, you're like Gil Skills, so you're a Pepsi man.
Yeah.
My advice: just go on and do it for fun.
Yes.
Don't expect fame and fortune.
No, like when we start doing YouTube, when I started doing YouTube first, I thought, this is going to be great. I'm going to get all these subscribers, and I'm going to get all this extra money coming in. Yeah, right. Waiting for that one to happen.
What I do like to know, William, which manufacturer did you go with for the copper granulator machine?
I went to an American company at first, since I was skeptical. Well, let me give you the story behind it. I started off with the hand stripper. From the hand stripper, I went into electric stripper. From the electric stripper, I saved up the money using the copper mine that you see standing behind me, or that you've seen standing behind me. From that point, I went looking around online, since the biggest problem I had was three-phase to single-phase, and I didn't want to do a conversion. Copper Mine was the company I noticed. Cable Management USA was the company I noticed that could do a single-phase machine. I was skeptical on going on Alibaba, so I went with an American company. And then recently I just said, you know what, the hell, I'll just go through Alibaba and try that for the shredder. And you know what, I'll do it again. But the company is Cable Management USA. Hang on, I'll actually get their plate over here.
So did you use a converter?
I'll make it that bigger so we can see what's wrote there. There we go.
Did you use a converter to go from single phase to the three phase?
Well, what I wound up doing with the electrical in my house, I had 200 amp service. Since my background is in construction, I know how to do this here. I wiped out the 200 phase service. I went to 200 amp service. I went to 600 amp service, single phase. From that point there, I bought a pony motor, put that in. So now I have single phase for 200 amps, 400 amps on single phase on top of the 200, and I have another 200 amp panel box that I've committed to three phase that I could switch back and forth between three phase, single phase with a pony motor. And now the biggest thing.
My head's going to explode with all that talk. I don't even know what you're on about.
My only question is, who's on first?
my question here is for actually, see that question here, does telephone wire with the seal pick gel come up your granulator?
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah.
It does. Okay.
I think my question would be, because I know my yard wouldn't buy granulated copper off me if I had a granulator. So
no, it actually with granulators, you have to find the proper yard that will accept it. Certain yards get skeptical of it, but you actually have to find a yard that has the XRF gun, which basically analyzes your copper, and then they'll take readings of it throughout the point of dumping to make sure it's the right type of copper. I'm lucky since a lot of times I'll go to a port yard, which is basically to ship it overseas, or I'll go to a local yard that does have the XRF gun that works with other port yards, and alley-oops it that way or sends it down the line that way, where they will accept the granulated copper. I work with companies like Sims Metal Management, Allen Industries, Rockaway Recycling, and they accept that type of material, so I don't worry about it too much. And I also send my copper out for testing prior to shipping. That way,
what about if you mix up some nickel-coated copper and you throw that in the granulator instead?
You're talking the tin-coated stuff?
Yeah.
It wouldn't matter. It'll sort it. It's a density separator. It'll go right through, no problem. What'll wind up happening when I see that waste stream coming out, I'll just shift to a different barrel, shut down the machine, shift to a different barrel, and at that point there, I'll run that separately, because it's basically whatever the XRF comes back with, that's what it'll start telling me, and that's where I'll know how to start shifting.
Right. Okay.
A lot of times I try to keep my waste streams clean.
Your shark still
Okay. And if you don't mind me asking, where'd you get all your wire from? Where'd you come across all your electrical wire?
Okay, with me, I do a unique combination of things. I work for myself, so that's a big key behind it. With that, what I wind up doing is I still do some construction. I'll get the wire retained that way. Other contractors in the area that want to recycle utilize me, so they'll drop off wire, whether it be Romex wire, extension cords, or whatever. On top of that, and I'm talking whole house gut jobs where you're taking every wire from the panel box throughout the whole house. When it comes to other sets of wire, I think I sent you, Irish, the video in regards to the e-waste event I did.
Yeah.
That there was 140 yards of random material, from computers to laptops to tin to copper wire to whatever. The people just want to get rid of it. The area I'm in has a lack of a recycling program, so I came up with a fundraiser thing for local communities where I'll park trailers there and charge people $20. That goes to the nonprofit to help them benefit the community, less fortunate families that way. And people don't mind donating and disposing of the stuff. With that, I'll obtain, in the one event, I literally obtained 6 yards of copper in one shot, or wire to be stripped for copper in one shot. Besides the truck bed of computers, laptops, you name it, printers, TVs, VCRs, whatever. And then from that point there, once you strip those items apart, you'll get the other sets of copper, extension cords, the wires within inside and down the line. And that's how I obtain my copper. I also created another program, a wire buyer program for nonprofits, where I'll throw garbage pails in there. And I know, because I can get the recovery rate out of it with the granulator, I'll tell the people, okay, if they give you Christmas lights, I'll pay, equal and equivalent to scrapyard. So I'll pay them for the wire that way. And then I'll make the additional from that on the recovery of it when I send to the scrapyard. So I've got the two systems going on, one where it doesn't cost me nothing, and then the other where I'll get I'm going on volume based on the organizations give it, because as people donate the wire to the organization, I pay the organization for the wire. And with that, it keeps them going, it keeps me going, and I work with the nonprofits, and people, I guess, feel compelled or know it's a resource to get rid of the stuff. and it's just setting up the system and creating how to obtain your material you want. You know, and I don't want to be like everybody else. I run to the local dumpster, try to pull out what I can. It's just easier if, for me, having contractors put it to the side, and I just go there with the truck afterward, pick it up after the work day. And then my nights and weekends, I'm back at my house in my garage running the copper, breaking the brass down, breaking the aluminum down, shredding it so that way it's size reduced to fit in better containers so I can carry more weight and get a higher payday, you know, as far as it goes that way.
That's cool.
It's
So
very
yeah,
nice
I
and pretty.
seen the videos he sent me of we had all the trailers packed for picking up all the e-waste and other bits of metal and stuff like that, which was a good idea. I thought that's why I asked him to say it on here when he came up, because it's thinking out of the box on getting your scrap and getting your stuff. It's not just like, as you said, going around into dumpsters trying to pull stuff out or whatever. If you can get an easier way that you're not even there and people are just throwing it into a container for you and you're going and collecting it later, that's far better, you know.
I just shared a link to William's YouTube channel. Looks like he's only got 17 subscribers right now. Jump on there.
Yeah, I've been slowly building it, and as it happens. You know, I don't expect to make millions off of it. It's just, okay, as I get around to it, I get around to it, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, William, I've only got like 200 subscribers, so don't feel bad. Don't feel bad.
You know, no.
What's that you're showing?
It's an ingot.
Yeah.
I actually, just before everybody went live and all that, I just started to do a video camera in regards to explaining the copper mine stripper to the granulator to the shredder I have and the system I normally use, like Bear Bright. I was saying I run through I still got to put it up. Bear Bright, I run through the regular, you know, wire stripper. I explained what the reason why I got the multi-track machine versus this single track machine. Basically, the reason why I bought that machine was so that way I could just fluidly run between one wire to the other wire, you know, decase it, then strip it through the next machine without having to adjust the knobs up and down, left and right, you know, to get it all to go through. And I could get better production on it. Then then as soon as I worked up enough money, since the granulator was 40,000 versus, you know, 1,800, you know, I wound up saving up the money for the granulator, bought that, ran the wire to it. From that point there, started to throw the copper in. Then I said, you know what, it's time for me to get a shredder, since now instead of doing, let's say, 100 pounds an hour, I could do 250, 300 pounds an hour with wire. So spending a day shredding it doubled the production on the granulator. You know, eventually I'll outgrow this granulator.
You know, Shark Scrapper's put a comment in there, which is very valid. You say you're going to go into YouTube. You start doing videos. They take a lot of, you'll be amazed at the amount of time it takes you to do a video. You know, something that you
really, no, normally, I mean, I'll admit my videos are a little bit dirty because I'm just doing it. Okay, here's what I'm doing as I'm doing it, and I just throw it up there. I mean, I don't go through too much of the, you know, spend the time editing. Here's what it is. Here's how it's going. Here's what I do. More explanation, and I'm trying to avoid, from my standpoint, the typical. No offense to anybody who does. I found this dumpster. Look what I got. Good score. I'm trying to explain more. If you're going to get into what I'm doing, here's what you got to consider. I'd like to do a video on, like I was saying on the Shark program, you know, what I wind up doing. Like, I want a compressor cutter coming down the line. I want to get a bigger shredder coming down the line, hammer mill. So what I wind up doing is I go through the thing of all my compressors I'm saving up, cash them in as compressors. Okay, the compressor cutter is an $8,000 piece of equipment. So when I get $8,000 in compressors cashed in, I take that compressor money. Then I go out and buy that piece of equipment, and then I set that piece of equipment up and send it into place. And now I can extract the copper out of those compressors that way, or the next set of tool down the line. That's what I wind up doing.
Sounds to me like you used to play Minecraft.
No, actually, I spent the time as a kid before my father passed away years back, learning accounting and financing and how to maneuver and manage financing, and just looking at recovery rates and how do I break those recovery rates. You know, okay, like radiators. It's 50, 48, and 2. 2% waste, which is your dust and all, 48% aluminum, 50% copper. How do I extract that copper? Well, I go a lot of times and try to learn from channels that are educational as compared to I found this on the street, and I'm trying to produce the same type of educational content. And this is how you go about it. I've read the CM Hoke book, CM Amen book to understand and refine, you know, metals and not only that, but just methods of refining, and those methods are widely used in the waste and recycling industry. And if they're doing it, why can't we do it to look a little more professional on the back end, cleaner? And that's little by little. It takes time to build a shop to that standard, and that's what I'm working towards.
And is your plan to we'd say there you're on about working to a shop? Is your plan to do a full e-waste refining shop in the end yourself, from the getting the material, proper fume hoods, proper making your own acids, all that sort of stuff, and right down to melting and selling the gold yourself?
Correct.
Okay.
Absolutely correct.
I do have a question for you, William. So what do you do with the plastic, the coating from the wires?
Where I am, there's a company called QMR Polymer. They buy gaylords upon gaylords of plastic, and what I have to basically do there is sort it out. The hardest plastic to move is the ABS plastic, and especially e-waste plastic. With that, that's more put in a pile, and then that usually gets shipped off to like Malaysia or Africa. And so I'm not too fond of that. So I kind of just waste those right in the dumpster. But if it's 1 through 6 plastics, your polypropylene, polyethylene, PVC, the hell is the others? I forget the names of them right off the top of my head, but the 1 through 6 categories of plastic in the United States, those I usually ship out that way. And what I wind up doing is granulating them to the 3/8 section, down to little pellets, basically the size of confectioner's sugar, put it in a box and just make sure it's separated. I joked around when I first was learning about it, and they said that how they wanted it separated. Clear and virgin plastic had one, white separated from color separated from black. And I said, boy, that's racist, in a joking sense, but I understand why they do it, because they re-dye the colored plastic to any other color. The blacks they leave as black, the white they could either dye or leave as the same, and the virgin they could use as primary as compared to regrinds. You're talking anywhere from 6 to 20 cents a pound, and that's what I wind up doing with the plastic behind it all.
So you kind of have a whole setup that everything you're getting in, you're making money off everything that you get. So you're making the money off the plastic, where most people, I know myself, like as a hobbyist scrapper or whatever, the plastic it has to be either put into recycling bins, or if I have to bring it to a recycling center, and I get no money for it. So you've actually got a whole revenue stream from every piece of item you take in.
I try to. I mean, I'm looking at things from a dollar cost perspective, and I look at it from a junk removal end or even a construction end. Sometimes 2 + 2 = 4, but it's how you get to 2 and how you get to the other 2 to equal 4. Okay, you spent a lot more money than I did. I spent less than you, but I recovered more, so I made $4 faster than you did. In essence, I'm looking at the mathematics behind it. When I do a junk removal job or something of that nature, which I have one coming up of a whole house clean out within a week. And with that being said, what I'm looking at it is the standpoint of already I have everything in the house, from books to pianos to paper to food waste to construction lumber to mattresses, beds, you name it, your typical items in a household. And I'm looking at if I throw it all in a truck or even a trailer and send that trailer to a landfill, anything that's in that trailer truck is going to cost me. So I'm looking at this trailer and saying, how do I minimize my cost, even if I don't make a dime on it, but it doesn't cost me a dime to get rid of it, or minimal to get rid of it, where I could make more money throughout the job that way, but yet be fair.
Anyway, you seem pretty good at math. So what I want to know, if I want to do any math, can I get in contact with you?
I was going to say, would William be able to teach maths to Ian Matthews? Because Ian and maths don't mix too well.
When he said 2 + 2
Anyhow,
= 4.
Everyone quiet for a minute, because we're about to finish up the show. So I have to run around quickly and ask everyone what their plan is for the week before I finish up. So, e-waste Mike, plan for the week.
Tomorrow I got a meeting with the beautiful city. Tuesday I'll have to drain my account and sell my left boob. I said boob, not ball. And Tuesday or Wednesday I'm gonna take a load of stuff in, and that's about it.
Okay. Mike Meltdown, what's your plan for the week?
Working on dropping this gold.
Okay. Well, neutralize the solution first.
Yeah, I've got a couple videos coming up Wednesday and Saturday again. and then cleaning up the shop more and breaking down some more stuff.
Okay. PC Scrapper, do you want to tell us what your plan is for the week?
Hey,
Oh,
everybody keep on scrapping, enjoy, and stay safe out there. Make some money.
Okay. William, your plan for the week?
Besides the normal work, the hobby thing is I'm going to work on lithium-ion batteries. Little by little, learning how to take them apart and what to do with them and how to get through it. So it's going to be more educational.
Oh, God, I'll enjoy that video.
Yeah. Cut them open with a knife and look at the green sparks.
Yeah, watch the flames come towards you. Look into the flames.
Actually, the biggest key on the lithium-ion batteries I've learned so far is do it in a negative charged environment and do it within water. And I've been watching Cable Management. They've got a great channel and educational things and how to handle it. So I've been trying to mimic the process to learn for myself and just educate myself on how to get to the lithium, how to get to the copper separation, the aluminum separation behind the whole metal. So that's more spend the time educating myself.
Okay, pretty
That's
cool.
my hobby.
Yeah. Ian Matthews, plan for the week?
Paint me dado rails, paint me coving. Nothing in the shed at all.
Okay. PC Scrapper's gone. So yeah, guys, thanks for being in. Appreciate everyone that's come into the live. As always, appreciate you all. Hope you've all hit the like. Solars is going live there now, so I put the link in for Everyday Solars there. So if everyone wants to go over there, I'd like to thank everyone that came up, everyone that contributed in the chat, and as Ralph Morg would say, scrap you all later. Catch you all later. Go on.
Thank you for allowing me on.
No problem at all, William. Always good to talk to someone who knows stuff that we can help us as well and answer questions. I like when people have answers to stuff. So catch you all later, guys.